Hey there guys, it's Plamore here, back again with another UFC video. Today, I've got a cold, so sorry about that if my voice sounds a bit off. But today we're going to be reviewing UFC 215 and basically talking about the event. Well, reviewing it, so that's what it is. First of all, we're going to go through the results. So in the preliminary card for UFC Fight Pass, Kajan Johnson, I can't really say his name, defeats Adriano Martins via KO by punch. I think that was round 3 as well. That was a lightweight fight. Next up in the heavyweight fight, Arjan Buller defeats Luis Henrique via unanimous decision. Next up, this was the preliminary card for Fox Sports 1. We had Alex White fight Mitch Clark, who Alex White won via punches by TKO in the second round. Next up in the featherweight division, we had Rick Glenn absolutely destroy Gavin Tucker by unanimous decision. I thought it should have been stopped late in the third, but the referee let it go. Next up, we had in the women's bantamweight, we had Sarah Moras versus Ashley Evans Smith, who Sarah Moras won by armbar, which may have been one of the best armbars since Ronda Rousey was last doing them. Then we had, again in the women's bantamweight division, Ketlin Vieira versus Sarah McMahon, and Ketlin Vieira won via arm triangle choke in the second round. Sarah McMahon was getting some nice ground and pound off as well in the first round. Then we move into the main card for UFC 215, and we had Jeremy Stephens versus Gilbert Melendez, which was a really good fight, and unfortunately for Melendez, his leg worn away. He had massive damage to his leg, which may have been part to his Barboza fight, I think it was. Jeremy Stephens defeats him by unanimous decision. That was in featherweight. In light heavyweight, we had Leah Latafi versus Tyson Pedro, who Latafi won by unanimous decision. Next up, we had in the flyweight division, Henry Cejudo versus Wilson Reese, and Henry Cejudo absolutely destroyed Reese with punches. He came out with a new style, well, not a new style, but like something you wouldn't really expect from a wrestler or from Cejudo. He came out with like a mix between McGregor and a Lyoto Machida style, and he got the job done by TKO. And I think he should be in line for a title challenge next. Next up in the welterweight division, we had RDA versus Neil Magny, and RDA won via arm triangle choke in the first round. Next up, we had the highly controversial women's bantamweight championship fight with Amanda Nunes defeating Valentina Shevchenko by split decision. Obviously it went to decision, so it went all 5 rounds, and it was a championship fight. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the Gilbert Melendez situation, and I think it was very unfortunate for him for his leg to wear out, for his leg to blow out, but I think that could have been much more interesting if his leg didn't wear away so early on in the fight. I think it was like the second leg kick and his leg was already starting to swell, so that was a shame. It's still a good fight though. I think Jeremy Stephens put on the performance of his career so far, and he's been fighting for a long time, so I think there's a myth about, or I think it's a myth about Jeremy Stephens' knockout power, because I read something on Twitter and it's something like 3 KOs in 9 years, and everyone reckons he's got the hardest punches in the division. Everyone thinks he's like the Anthony Johnson of the featherweight division. So I don't really think it's true. I think it's probably a bit of overhype. Next up I'm going to talk about is Henry Cejudo versus Wilson Reis, and I think Cejudo put on a masterclass of punches. His punch to drop Wilson Reis, or Reis, I don't really know his name. That punch that dropped him was lightning quick. It was incredible. You watched it in slow motion. It looked like a light heavyweight or a middleweight punching someone normally. It was pretty fun to watch. I think this new style for Cejudo's worked. I hope if he gets the title shot, I hope he tries this style, and hope we get to see what he does against DJ. Next up, I'm going to be talking about RDA versus Neil Magny. So, in this fight, early on, RDA hit Neil Magny with a leg kick which dropped him. It wasn't really like a injury, like it wasn't a drop, like knockdown for your hurtness or something, or I'm not really sure what to say here. But anyway, it was more of a drop to a slip or a trip, and RDA jumped on Magny, got in like he was getting in, he was in full guard, and he was like he was in half guard. It was like trying to pass to side control, and he was doing it. He was trying to get something off, but it wasn't working, so he got into full mount. And then just when Neil Magny went to move, he got back into side control and locked in the arm triangle, which secured him the victory in the first round, which I think was a very impressive performance. Neil Magny's no joke, but RDA made him look not very dominant. So hopefully we can see what RDA does in the welterweight division. Maybe fight Robbie Lawler next or something like that. That'd be quite good to watch. Next up, we had the highly controversial women's bantamweight championship fight, Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. Personally, I thought Valentina won because she got the better strikes away. She got better counter punches. She did more damage throughout the 4 rounds, but in the 5th round it was a takedown which secured it for Amanda. And I gotta say, even though Amanda got the takedown, it was Valentina throwing the strikes on the floor, and you saw Amanda like look towards the corner, like not knowing what to do, trying to get advice from the corner. One thing I will say that's good for Amanda is her stamina, her endurance has improved so much, and I wasn't really surprised because she's been doing a lot more cardio fitness and stuff like that, and strength and conditioning, but really came on a long way. She lasted the full 5 rounds, and she didn't do too much in the 5 rounds, but she did enough to secure the victory. But yeah, it was entertaining for a technical standpoint for hardcore MMA, but someone who's a casual fan who's just looking for finishes would have found that fight quite boring, which is probably why you heard quite a lot of the boos. A bit like the I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I was comparing fights. A bit like the Tyron Woodley versus I can't even remember the other guy's name. This is pretty bad. Anyway, Tyron Woodley's last fight, he spent the whole time defending takedowns, and he did well from a technical standpoint, from a hardcore fan standpoint, but for a casual fan it was pretty boring, I would say. And that's how I thought UFC 215 went down. I thought it was a good show overall. There's been better, obviously, 214. And yeah, now I'm going to be talking about the DJ situation and Borg. Sorry about that. Borg pulled out of the card due to a injury, and for this, DJ did not get to break the record for title defenses. So now we're gonna be like, I've heard a lot of stuff like on the MMA Hour earlier today that I'm recording this. It came out that DJ still hasn't received any money from UFC 215, and he's not sure whether he actually will end up getting any money. Personally, I think he should get money because he would have obviously he's the main event, so, and all eyes were on him to break the record, so I think a lot of the ticket sales were due to him, which is why I think, and a lot of the pay-per-view buys as well, but which is why I think he deserves some money, although they did give out refunds. But if you've already bought it and there's still massive fight card going down, I don't know why you would want a refund. Anyway, I think it'd be good to see Johnson either fight Cejudo again and see how Cejudo can do, or it'd be good to see if TJ can actually make weight down a weight class like he said he could, and see a super fight. Or it would also be nice to see him go up, but I want to see DJ break the record first. If I was Dana White or whoever's the matchmaker for whenever DJ's fighting next, I would have DJ and Dillashaw, and then I'd have like maybe Cejudo like on the undercard of the fight, like maybe Co-Main or something, or not Co-Main, that's quite high, but maybe undercard, so that if TJ doesn't make weight, Cejudo could step up and challenge for the title, which would be good fun, and it would be good to see. Obviously DJ and TJ is a super fight. Everyone has been wanting to see that for a while now, and I know TJ is going to be fighting Cody Garbrandt, but still, you never know. Yeah, personally I think Cejudo's next in line, but it would always be nice to see TJ. Next on is on the list is going to be probably the last thing I talk about in this video. It's going to be the Jon Jones situation with the drug tests. Basically, obviously he failed his urine test. He got pissed hot, basically, but he passed his blood test. And what a few people, maybe casual fans or people who aren't really in the know about drug testing, thought that this meant he was clean the whole time. Whereas Turinabol, or whatever he was using, T-ball or whatever they call it, is predominantly found in urine. I'm not sure if it's been found at all in blood before, but it's predominantly found in urine. So, I hope, obviously, his B sample, as the day of recording this, have not actually been released, but I hope his B sample comes out, so he's passed it and he's fine. But I really don't know what to say. I think if he has done steroids, he's wrecked 2 legacies in one go. He's wrecked. He's obviously wrecked Daniel Cormier for not being able to ever beat arguably the greatest of all time, not ever being up there with the greatest of all time because he got beat twice. But if Jon Jones is on steroids, that's wrecked his own legacy, and it's you could say probably put the rest of his career into doubt. And I know a lot of hardcore MMA fans have been saying that they don't ever want to see him fight again because he's if it is true he's cheated, he's not right for the sport. But I think he's the greatest of all time, and I think it's a shame that such a talent has gone to waste. The last thing I'm going to say on this in this video is Michael Bisping said that his son reckons Jon Jones has been on steroids ever since he started winning dominantly, because he had some unimpressive wins in the UFC and then he started absolutely destroying guys and absolutely murking guys. But his son reckons that's when he started taking steroids. So I think it's quite interesting to hear that from someone like Michael Bisping's son. So yeah, this is my thought on UFC 215 and the drug test from 214. If you enjoyed this video, leave subscribe. There'll be more UFC things coming out soon. I'm going to be doing a review show for 216, 217 for all the foreseeable future. Well, we hopefully will be. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe. In the description below there will be my Twitter handle, which you can go and follow, and you'll be notified every time that I upload. So if you want to know every time, either hit the bell button next to the subscribe button or follow my Twitter. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time, and tell me what you think of UFC 215. Peace.